DirectD continues attacks on DeleteLawZ. Late night, greatest hits, clips continue to show a pattern of narcissistic behavior. James Freeman screws up bigly in his lawsuit against New Mexico's 7th District Court. Appeals Court throws out his claims. Plus, Jeremiah Payne returns, says his music isn't AI-generated, and the troes are up to their old antics. All this and more on today's edition of Auditing Insanity. Good morning, and welcome to another edition of the Auditing Insanity Newscast powered by ReallyCoolNews. I'm AI Johnny Jones, and I'll be your host for a look at James Freeman's latest legal blunder, Jeremiah Payne's address to the troes, and DirectD's continued calling out of Jose "Chili" DeCastro. While we're short on stories, we're long on attitude today, as we ask you to focus on
DirectD continues humiliation of DeleteLawZ. YouTuber Christopher DirectD Ruff continued his ongoing spat with activist and all-around swell guy DeleteLawZ Chili DeCastro on Wednesday and Thursday, with two new live streams looking at DeCastro's greatest hits. The two have been at odds for some time, with DeCastro most recently appearing on DirectD's program last weekend. DeCastro appeared briefly and demanded that Ruff produce receipts of all the people he's alleged to have wronged over the years. DeCastro was provoked by Ruff into rage quitting and then went to appear on Clash with Bow's program, essentially giving a one-hour monologue on his personal greatness and what an asset he was to the community. Ruff has devoted portions of his nightly live streams all week to featuring negative videos featuring DeCastro. On Wednesday, he continued the series with an extended conversation from 2023 between James Freeman and DeCastro. The video was prompted as DeCastro stumbled into one of Freeman's broadcasts that was devoted to trolling him on DeCastro Fake News Network comedy channel and became confused about the nature of the broadcast. Freeman ultimately confronted DeCastro's belief that government can solve everything, stating that DeCastro was giving false hope to people and playing off of their hopes that someone can change the system when in Freeman's belief, the system shouldn't exist in the first place. DeCastro's belief that police being forced to wear 360-degree cameras that were on 24/7 came under fire as Freeman pointed out that most police had body cameras, and we couldn't get the footage from them. DeCastro defended the idea, saying that he could change the system and force the police to do his bidding. Following the extended discussion, Freeman and DeCastro had an extended beef for the past year. While DeCastro said he recently came to terms with Freeman while he was incarcerated in the Clark County, Nevada, detention center, Freeman made comments in DirectD's side chat Wednesday night that questioned DeCastro's state of their interactions. Thursday's livestream was more of the same, featuring a Clash with Bow video where Bow wanted to be DeCastro's campaign manager in his eventual campaign for governor in an unnamed state. Ruff also featured the second of two videos from Gunner TV, who covered DeCastro and the world of First Amendment auditors back in 2023. DeCastro had been provoked by Gunner TV's first video, responding over 50 times to the video in the comments section, threatening lawsuits and raging before strangely deleting his comments and thanking Gunner TV for the exposure. DeCastro's series of bad days continued on Thursday, though he had a minor victory to start the day as former nemesis Kate Peters' Discord server, home of the Chili Watch/Chili DeCastro fan club forum, went offline under mysterious circumstances. The forum had been a bane of DeCastro's existence in 2022 and was named in both his dismissed federal civil rights lawsuit against Peter and his current California Superior Court lawsuit against Peter and others. While it is currently being at least temporarily housed on our ReallyCoolNewsWire Discord server until such a time as Masshole returns, none of the past history was able to be saved before the server went down. DeCastro didn't take advantage of this small victory as he did not live stream on Thursday. His new First Amendment Auditor channel has been live since Monday and was heavily promoted to his 623,000 subscribers on his main YouTube channel but has yet to hit 500 subscribers as of press time, holding firm at 318 subscribers for the week. His Patreon remains at 52 total members, with 5 of those paying members. Details for his new team DeleteLawZ.com are not known at this time, though based on the performance of both of his other launches, we do not have high hopes for the site being a roaring success. We will continue to monitor the situation between Ruff and DeCastro and provide updates to DeCastro's post-launch troubles in tomorrow's edition of Auditing Insanity.
Freeman fumbles again in appeals court ruling. Thursday saw another unforced error on the part of YouTuber James Freeman as an appeals court rejected his appeal of an order by the lower court as it found it had no jurisdiction to rule on anything as Freeman did not wait to file his appeal in accordance with the rules of the court. Freeman's lawsuit against New Mexico's 7th District Court was dismissed back in May, with the court giving Freeman a 14-day window to amend his complaint for a third time, with a focus on seeking declaratory relief against Chief Judge Mercedes Murphy of the 7th District Court in her official capacity. Instead of waiting 14 days for the order to become final and waiting for the ability to appeal or standing on his pleading, Freeman immediately appealed to the Court of Appeals for the 10th Circuit. The appeals court asked both sides to explain their positions as to why or why not the court had jurisdiction to hear Freeman's appeal, since his appeal lacked the conditions to qualify for an appeal to the appeals court. In the ruling, the court sided with the defense and found that they lacked the jurisdiction to hear the case. Simply put, the fact that the matter was not resolved by Freeman waiting for the verdict to be final eliminated the court's ability to actually act on that verdict. The appeal now goes back to the lower court to either confirm the dismissal of the case or again allow Freeman the opportunity to amend his again. Once the ruling is final, Freeman would theoretically have the ability to appeal again. Freeman has been suing New Mexico's 7th District Court for the better part of the past 2 years after several issues where Freeman was found to have disrupted court proceedings and harassed staff members within the 7th District Court's facilities. The YouTuber was effectively banned from the facilities in the entire 7th District Court unless he was escorted by a member of police. After nearly a half-dozen individual protests against the ruling, Freeman sued everyone who had anything to do with the 7th District. Freeman argued that the punishment for his disruption violated his Fifth Amendment rights and essentially made fun of the rulings in continued protests at facilities in the 7th District where he walked around empty security desks to find a sheriff to take him back through the buildings to the records area. The ruling essentially is yet another unforced error on Freeman's part during the lawsuit. From early questions of jurisdiction and proper service to using an attorney more associated with farm regulations than First Amendment questions, Freeman's errors have highlighted a case that has essentially tread water for close to 2 years now. We will update the story with the final decision from the lower court. Jeremiah Payne says that his music is real. LDOF auditor Jeremiah Payne surprised everyone with a rare return to live streaming on Wednesday, addressing critics of his recent foray into music production and by revoking his endorsement of former President Donald Trump. Payne greeted his friends and said he had been home from work for an hour before he started streaming and was immediately met with a wave of troes who disrupted his side chat. Immediately defensive, Payne started ranting about stupid-ass people in his side chat. He quickly turned to not wanting a drama chat and launched into a defense of the upcoming album that he claims he is producing. Payne said that despite claims by the troes that his music was AI-generated, it was anything but. Though it has now been delayed from a tomorrow release to a soon release as all the songs haven't been mastered yet. He showed off a workstation with 2 monitors and confirmed that he was working on editing from his apartment, the same area featured on a previously posted tour of his apartment, and again promised that his non-AI-generated music would be dropping soon. Turning his attention to current affairs, Payne revoked his previous backing of Donald Trump as he claimed that the former president wants to give the police absolute immunity should he return to power. He also commented on the P. Diddy situation, observing that the government's refusal to give P. Diddy freedom when he was willing to put up a $50 million bond says something dire about the charges against him. Finally, Payne began to watch videos of police officers behaving badly and apparently got triggered towards the end of stream. He excused himself, went to a countdown, said next to nothing for the next few minutes, and the feed cut out. Payne's return to live streaming did nothing to help his GoFundMe out, which has been stuck at $80 out of a $7,000 goal for 8 months now. Long Island Audits took the day with a $25 donation to his Support Freedom Stand Against Tyranny Together campaign. Our ongoing expenses campaign came in second with a $20 donation. YouTube listeners, please note that the text version of the daily GoFundMe article features documentation of all the campaigns we are currently following. If you know about a campaign from an auditor that you'd like to see added to the list, please respond to a GoFundMe tracking video with the URL and the name of the auditor. While we're not about promoting campaigns except our own, we will include most submissions in our daily performance charts along with a monthly list of URLs that we're following in the text version of the GoFundMe tracking articles. We still need your help. Despite the GoFundMe market being dead, this publication is funded by your donations along with what little we make from our YouTube channel per month. While we did achieve full monetization on YouTube, we still need help to get through monthly expenses and keeping the lights on to bring you the paper and the newscast each day. If you can afford it, please consider donating to the GoFundMe run by this very channel. All donations literally go to keeping the lights on, eating, and writing news stories to feature here and on ReallyCoolSite.org. If you can't afford to contribute, please watch the advertisements on our videos, like share, subscribe, and comment. You can help by doing next to nothing, and we thank you in advance for pitching in. And we're back. This is the second day that we're experimenting with a morning release time for both the newspaper and this newscast. We're attempting to have everything ready for 8 a.m. Eastern Time each day as YouTube struggles with uploading at night continue. Also, please note that our Monday, Wednesday, and Friday live streams have permanently moved to 3 p.m. Eastern Time. This just works better for our panelists' work schedules, and frankly, we'd rather do a show with them than without them, so we'll stick to the time as promised. On that note, we're out of here for another morning. Stay safe and have a wonderful day.